Throughout the history of civilization, power has built empires, kingdoms, and nations. From the sands of Egypt to the palaces of Europe, the halls of power have echoed with the footsteps of rulers who shaped the world. But even the greatest among them could not conquer the one enemy that defeated them all: time. Their armies faded, their crowns turned to dust, and their final breaths became whispers in eternity. This is the story of how the world's most powerful leaders met their end. The last moments of giants whose names will never be forgotten. Because power builds empires, but death ends them all. In the heart of Rome, under the marble arches of the Senate, stood Julius Caesar, a man who rose from soldier to supreme ruler. He expanded the Roman world, defied the old order, and dreamed of ruling forever. But immortality is dangerous when others crave your throne. On the Ides of March, surrounded by men he once called friends, Caesar entered the Senate unaware that history's most famous betrayal awaited him. The first dagger struck his back, then another. By the time he turned to see the final face, Brutus, his most trusted ally, his empire was already slipping away. Et tu, Brute. 3 words that echoed not just through Rome, but through all of history. The conqueror of nations fell at the feet of his own people, proving that no ruler, however powerful, escapes the price of ambition. Across the sea in Egypt, another legend met her end. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh, the queen of charm and cunning, ruled with grace and fire. When her empire fell to Rome, she refused to become a trophy of her enemies. Inside her golden chamber, surrounded by treasures and silence, she held a serpent in her hands, the asp, symbol of death and rebirth. As the venom entered her veins, Cleopatra smiled, for even in death, she would control her story. The serpent's kiss ended her life, but not her legend. She became the eternal queen, the woman who chose myth over submission. Centuries later, far across the steppes of Asia, the thunder of hooves shook the earth. Genghis Khan, the unstoppable storm, united the Mongol tribes and forged an empire that stretched from China to Europe. He was ruthless, brilliant, and feared by all. Yet even the great Khan could not ride beyond the horizon of mortality. In 1227, after crushing his final enemy, the conqueror fell ill. No one knows the true cause of his death. Some say disease, others assassination, others divine retribution. His final command was that his resting place remain forever hidden. And so it was. To this day, his tomb has never been found, a mystery befitting a man who seemed larger than life itself. In the centuries that followed, a new emperor rose, Napoleon Bonaparte. He was the man who turned revolution into empire, who bent Europe to his will through brilliance and fire. But when ambition burned too bright, it consumed him. Defeated and exiled to the lonely island of St. Helena, Napoleon faced a different kind of battle, one against time and memory. No armies, no parades, only ocean waves and silence. He spent his final days writing about glory, legacy, and lost dreams. When he died in 1821, his empire was gone, but his legend remained, proof that even isolation cannot imprison a name written in history. Across the ocean, another leader's fate was sealed in a single tragic moment. Abraham Lincoln, the man who held America together through its darkest war. He saw the end of slavery, the dawn of peace, and the hope of unity. But in April 1865, as he watched a play inside Ford's Theater, darkness struck from behind. A single shot, a single act of hatred, ended the life of the man who dreamed of a nation reborn. Lincoln's body died that night, but his vision, his words, and his quiet strength became immortal. He proved that greatness is not measured by how long you live, but by what you leave behind. As one age of unity ended, another of destruction rose. Adolf Hitler's reign brought devastation to millions, plunging the world into war and despair. But in April 1945, the empire he promised would last 1,000 years collapsed in ruins. In a bunker beneath Berlin, with bombs raining above and betrayal closing in, Hitler faced the final truth. Evil, too, is mortal. He ended his life surrounded by concrete and smoke, the dream of tyranny burning with him. History remembers his final act not as tragedy, but as a warning. That power without humanity always ends in destruction. From hate to peace, the next story begins not with conquest, but compassion. Mahatma Gandhi led a revolution without weapons, freeing India through the power of nonviolence and truth. He believed that the mightiest weapon was the human spirit, but even peace has enemies. On January 30th, 1948, as Gandhi walked toward a prayer meeting, a man stepped forward with a gun. 3 bullets ended his life, but not his message. Live simply, so that others may simply live. In death, Gandhi became a light that no darkness could ever extinguish. Nearly 2 decades later, the world saw another moment of disbelief. John F. Kennedy, young, charismatic, and full of promise, became a symbol of hope in a turbulent time. But hope is fragile. On a sunny day in Dallas, as crowds cheered and cameras flashed, a single echo of gunfire silenced an era. The dream of Camelot vanished in seconds. Yet in that silence, something remained. The idea that vision can outlive the man who dreams it. Kennedy's death froze time, but his legacy of courage and curiosity continues to ripple through generations. Only 5 years later, another voice of hope was silenced. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., preacher, poet, warrior of peace, stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel. He had seen the mountain, as he said the night before, but knew he might not reach the promised land. When the bullet struck, it was not just a man who fell. It was a dream under fire. Yet that dream lives on in every heart that still believes in justice, equality, and love. King's death was not an ending. It was the echo of a beginning. And in our own time, we witnessed the passing of an era that spanned nearly a century. Queen Elizabeth II, a monarch who saw the world transform around her, ruled with restraint, dignity, and quiet endurance. Through wars, revolutions, and pandemics, she became the world's constant. When her final day came in 2022, she left not just a throne, but a lifetime of service and stability. Her death marked the end of a chapter, not just for Britain, but for the modern age itself. Even queens, it seems, must bow to time. From emperors and pharaohs to presidents and prophets, the story remains the same. Power builds kingdoms, but death humbles them. Each of these leaders shaped the course of humanity, yet in their final breath, all were equal. Their crowns turned to dust, their weapons to rust, their empires to memory. But what endures is not the gold or the glory. It is the lessons they leave behind. That power is fleeting. That legacy is eternal. And that even in death, the greatest among us continue to shape the world they left behind. Because power built empires, but death ended them all.